Yes, guys, welcome back to more GBFC. Today, we're going to talk about the ongoing chaos that happens every year, to be honest. But the Championship, it is regarded as one of the most entertaining, exciting, competitive leagues in European football. And we're going to go through today because Leeds United and Burnley have both got themselves promoted. 94 points, 2 games to go. Who's going to win the Championship? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're a Leeds fan, you're relying on scoring goals to win this league. And if you're a Burnley fan, well, 15 goals conceded in 44 matches. That is less than a goal every 3 games. That is absolutely exceptional. Or it's just over a goal every... We're not going to be pedantic about it today, but Leeds United and Burnley and Sheffield United have been the big losers in this situation. It looked as though at one point it was going to be a 3-horse race all the way through until the end of the season. And then you got Sheffield United at a good march, good win at QPR, beat Preston, drew against Bristol City, who have been rising. We'll talk about them soon. Won the Sheffield Derby, beat Super Franks Coventry, and then April arrives and bloody hell did it go wrong. Defeat at the Kassam Stadium, defeat at home to Millwall, defeat away at Plymouth, and then I think Chris Wilder in that game, didn't he have a fight or something in the flipping tunnel? Maybe it wasn't a fight, maybe it was just a bit of argy-bargy. But that being said, April was a defining month, and then that defeat at Burnley on Monday sealed the deal. Sheffield United, if anything, they are going to have to go up this season by winning the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, Sunderland are in there. They are confirmed. Bristol City also have been pretty good, rising as the season has gone on. If we take a look at their season, they're around mid-table and they've always been rising. So that could be one to watch for the rest of this season. And as well as that, obviously the team that I'm going to be hoping go up, Frank Lampard's Coventry City. And if we take a look at their rise this season, we made a video about Super Frank, but they're in and around the relegation zone on match week 19, or match week 9, sorry. They're 22nd in the league. And look at this. The rise has been absolutely monumental, and it's not to say that it's done yet though, and that's always the case in the Championship, isn't it? If we look at the table, there is still a lot to play for. 2 games to go, and as low as Swansea, who are currently on a 5-game winning run, they need a 6-point swing. It's probably impossible, but from Blackburn, Millwall, Middlesbrough, Coventry, these guys are all competing for those places. I would say that Bristol City, with that 4-point cushion of 7th, I think Bristol City should be absolutely fine. So when it comes to who else is going to come up, and then later on in this video, we'll talk about Leeds and Burnley. Will they survive? If you want to see the video I made about why promoted teams go straight back down, I'll leave a link to that in the description. But when it comes to the form of 3rd and 4th, both of these two sides knew that they probably weren't going to get promoted, so it's been a very lackluster ending to the season. Sheffield United 4 defeats in their last 5, and Sunderland, well, they've lost their last 3 games. So will they have any kind of real good momentum going into the playoffs? Remains to be seen, but obviously Sheffield United did beat Coventry 3-1 at Bramall Lane only about a month and a half ago. So the playoff places, it's always exciting to watch. But let's take a look at the relegation zone before we go into the promoted, the champions, or who's going to be the champions. Look at this, right? The bottom 6, none of the bottom 6 lost their last round of games. Oxford are still very much in the relegation scrap on 49, as are Preston and Stoke, who were beaten 6-0 by Leeds, but Hull City won. Derby won, Luton Town, trying to avoid back-to-back relegations, they won, and Plymouth Argyle are not in bad form, but they're also, the relegation zone looks like Plymouth should go down because of that goal difference. But again, the Championship, we've got to talk about it because it's always so entertaining. There is still so many stories that need to be written. Who's going to go down? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who's going to snatch these final playoff places? Will Super Franks Coventry do enough? And then who's going up in the playoffs? But I want to talk about Leeds United and Burnley. Specifically, I want to focus on both of these sides and the differences between the two of them, because Leeds this season, you can see 89 goals scored. There could actually be both of them getting 100 points here, which would be, I think, the first time that's ever happened in the Championship. They have been leagues above everybody else this season. But for Leeds, it's been about scoring goals. For Burnley, this defensive record is quite something. And it begs the question as to, out of Leeds United and Burnley, we're going to look at their squads now. We're going to see if there is enough quality without a transfer window. Obviously, everyone who comes up to the Premier League, you've got to try and invest smart in the market. And maybe nowadays, even investing smart might not be enough. But for Leeds United this season, Joel Pirro with 25 goal contributions. Daniel James with 21. Manor Solomon with 20. That is 3 players there that are going over 20 goal contributions. We compare that to Burnley, and if we look at the goal and assist numbers, Josh Brownhill is a really talented player. 21 goal contributions. Jadon Anthony with 14 and Zian Fleming with 13. You can see with Burnley, the concern immediately, without a transfer window, the concern will be, is there enough goals in the team? Is there enough quality going forward? And if you look again, Lyle Foster, this is some players here have got Premier League experience, but they've gone down. And the same can also be said for this Leeds United side. You know, Wilfred Gnonto, I remember at one point, flipping Chelsea wanted to sign Wilfred Gnonto, I believe. At least there were stories about it. But at least with this Leeds team, there are players with Premier League experience, but there's also goals come in from all over the pitch. 89 goals scored in a season is great. Whereas for Burnley, you wonder if they're going to score enough. But this man, all right, Mr. bloody James Trafford, is having such an unbelievable season. 15 goals conceded, and he's played 43 games this season. The save percentage here of 84.5% is absolutely incredible. And I think when you look at the teams that have come up, you look at the way that your Southamptons, your Leicesters, and Ipswich, they tried to play this season. I think defensively, teams have got to prioritise this because the golfing class between the Premier League and the Championship is more alarming than ever before. And when you come up to the Premier League, you can't play this expressive, expansive, sometimes attacking football like we'd have seen here from this squad of Leeds players this season. That doesn't always work. So are Burnley actually going to be the better equipped team? I do want to give James Trafford some more airtime here, though, because some of these stats are incredible. Top 1% for goals against, obviously. Save percentage, again, top 1%. This is absolutely unbelievable. Clean sheets, this is insane. Like, seriously good numbers this season. And I think this is also quite an interesting one. The average length of the goal kicks is in the top 7% here. So Burnley aren't obsessed with always playing out from the back because quite often the goal kick goes long. And I think in the Premier League right now, this could actually be better suited. I think when you look at Burnley that came up last time, it was Vincent Kompany as the manager. They came up and they tried to play that same expressive style and a lot more attacking than what we have seen in the Championship this season. And huge credit to Scott Parker because this is now his 3rd promotion from the Championship as a manager. My early prediction is that I think Burnley are going to be better suited with the way that they play. And I don't know if it's going to be too difficult for Leeds United to be able to change and adapt enough. Or for Burnley, is it going to be more of a seamless transition? They also play here with a 4-2-3-1. Could we actually end up seeing that move to a back 3? Which then would probably require them to play out a little bit more. I mean, again, we're not talking about a squad here full of big-name players. Brownhill has been absolutely fantastic this season. They're going to have to make signings. The truth of the matter is, all of the teams that come up, I strongly think they're probably going to go back down. But I'd say out of these two, just touching it on the surface here, we'll do a bigger video about this throughout the summer when we see the transfers. But I think Burnley are better equipped. And in terms of the playoffs, I think this is anyone's game at the moment because Sheffield United are 10 points ahead of Sunderland, who are about 10 points ahead of Bristol City, and there's 20 points separating Coventry and Sheffield United. So you'd expect Sheffield United to do them. They also won 3-1, but since that big blowout from Chris Wilder, it's all kind of gone wrong for Sheffield United. So my answer to you lot in the comments of this video, who's winning the title? Is it Leeds or Burnley? Are any of them going to drop any more points? And who is going to get up in the playoffs? And when we look once more at that relegation scrap, it is still all to play for from Preston all the way down to Plymouth. But there's a big swing that is necessary there. So much drama. That's why I had to talk about it today. I'm also flying today, so I wasn't going to be at home. So I made this video for you lot on Wednesday. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Subscribe to more GBFC. And if there is anything else you want me to talk about specifically, I don't just want to cover the big clubs here on the second channel. I want to cover everything so that we can cover a wider scope of football. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.